today's talk focuses on the fact that, an interesting question, can the Tesla Semi survive no cost or free trucks from Nikola and from Daimler Benz, Freightliner? We also take a look at the newest $45,000 Model 3 and how that's going to work out. And we also have our usual health effects talking today, again, about sleep research and sort of good technique in that regard. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Thanks once again for joining us. If this is your first time on our channel, please take time to like and subscribe. We also have ads and try to minimize them, so we'd appreciate if you could do 5 to 10 seconds of viewership. It really helps to make the whole deal work. Today, as you'll notice behind me, we're at the Peterbilt facility in the Washington, D.C. area, because the primary portion of our show today focuses on big trucks. So you'll see some going by us, and you'll see some in our back as well. And I wanted to be more authentic towards trucks, given that's what we're trying to cover today. Also note, we're on Patreon, could use your support there as well. $1 or $2 a month goes a long way towards helping us make this channel work and do a better job of servicing you. Now, we really enjoy, and a big part of our audience that we've developed over time has been associated with our discussion of what's going on with Tesla and trucks. So there are kind of 3 segments that we're covering today. The first segment is the fact that Daimler Benz through Freightliner / Nikola are in the mode of kind of free trucks right now. And the question is, how does Tesla compete with that? And so I think it's a fascinating circumstance to have anybody compete with that. The second stage is kind of looking at other truck developments, in particular, what's going on with charging facilities and what are the implications of that for Tesla and for Nikola, and for that matter, for Daimler Benz. And then we follow on with our $45,000 Model 3 news that came out today from Tesla, and some of the implications that are kind of interesting. So the first thing I wanted to address today is the fact that we were doing some research on what the approach is in terms of Daimler Benz via Freightliner, Fuso, and other brands around the world that are in the electric space. 2 shows ago, we covered the fact that the current iteration in 1865 of trucks that are being made available by Daimler weigh too much. That huge amount of weight means that for your largest 80,000-pound trucks in the United States, because the battery packs weigh so much, the amount of freight weight that can be carried is low when you're talking 300-mile range trucks. We also covered the fact that Tesla doesn't have this problem because of the 2170 battery. So as a stopgap measure, what Daimler Benz is actually doing is offering customers free prototypes, both of Class 7 and Class 8 trucks. They're also helping these customers to set up charging facilities for these trucks. And Daimler knows that those trucks are non-competitive with Tesla, but the question is, what are large customer reactions to getting free trucks that they can try out versus having the Tesla situation where they have to put up cash to secure their place in line and get their truck a year and a half after paying for them, at least at the initial stage. So the other question mark was, what's going on with Nikola in this regard? Nikola is allowing, at this point, their one major customer to have unlimited reservations without any deposit. And again, Tesla has to compete in this situation. And what are the implications of this? Well, the answer is fascinating. The customers have decided that by their ability to both ride in and drive the Tesla vehicle and collect data on them, they've determined that the Tesla product is real and viable. And so many of the largest companies that are in the truck buying business are fearful that they will be so far backwards in the line that other entities will acquire Tesla's trucks and put them to work and possibly put late to the party companies out of business. So as a result, we've been seeing a number of orders that have been made for the trucks. At this point, it's someplace in the 2,000 companies, or 2,000 trucks have been ordered by a variety of companies, putting up as much as $200,000 or $250,000 to secure their place in line for the trucks. Now, nobody's been bold enough to go over 100 units, but it's my belief that once those trucks start arriving, the fact that they bought 100 of them already will help them secure Tesla's attention when it comes to deciding who's going to get their trucks first in line. And so that's kind of what's going on right now. So in essence, Tesla's getting 100% upfront in cash from a large number of companies, even though they can do reservations for free at Nikola, or they can possibly get free prototypes from Daimler Benz Freightliner or Daimler Benz Fuso, Mitsubishi, etc., all of these other brands. So the situation is kind of very interesting to watch. The next item sort of in this evaluation is the fact that it was recently announced that the folks at Anheuser-Busch InBev have a new tactic. That tactic is they're currently building mega chargers to go with their 40 trucks ordered from Tesla, but at the same time, they've got an order out for 800 Nikola trucks. So it seems that they're going in both directions at the same time. They're making sure they have charging facilities for their Tesla trucks, and they're also have large numbers of semis on order. And this seems kind of weird to be going in two different directions at one time. It's my belief that the folks at InBev and Anheuser-Busch are really bright. And the issue is that if the Nikola truck does not work out, you know, they've got to have a plan B. Another point on the whole Nikola situation that I thought was strange, fascinating, is that in the case of Tesla, Tesla is currently working with its large ordering companies to help develop their mega charger facilities / supercharger facilities, or setting it up so they can use Tesla's supercharger network to charge their trucks. In the case of Nikola, they're totally going the opposite direction. They've elected to start the process of building a network of charging facilities for trucks without necessarily concentrating on their large customer locations. And I find this strange because why would you want to set up trucks you know, why would they want to set up production and service facilities when there are no trucks to use those facilities for an extended period until you start producing trucks? So really and truly, it's a mystery what Nikola is up to, because, you know, putting up a $2-3 million facility and have it sit for 1 or 2 years until you start producing trucks is extremely expensive. And you can't collect any interest on that thing because there's no customers putting product in there. So I do think this is a fascinating situation. The next thing, so in general, our argument is that despite the free trucks from Daimler Benz, despite the free trucks reservations at Nikola, the customers are still focused on waiting for Tesla to deliver and are willing to put up cash to secure that. And so both Daimler and Nikola have cast aspersions at Tesla because they do need the capital in order to build the trucks. But there's one other piece of data that's influential in the thinking process of those that are truck acquirers and users, and that is that Daimler has admitted that the trucks that they're putting on the road right now not only are too heavy to carry a full complement of freight, but they're also having issues with the longevity of those trucks post 3 years. So in essence, the head of Daimler's truck division has admitted that their electric trucks the battery degradation means there's no life left in those battery packs after 3 years, which is not a problem that Tesla currently has, which creates another reason why informed customers that work heavily on spreadsheets are not inclined to put their futures when it comes to electric trucks in the hand of legacy ICE manufacturers like Daimler Benz or companies like Nikola. So the plot is kind of thick here, but I'm impressed because the engineers that have tested the Tesla solution are saying we need to put up the money, and when the truck has gone directly to visit folks like Walmart and JB Hunt and others, the reaction has been to secure orders for more trucks, not less. So this will be interesting to watch. The one fly in the ointment I will say that the Tesla truck is experiencing right now is the fact that I believe that as the European sales of the Model 3 begin, those sales are going to be fantastic, huge. And I believe that those orders will make it difficult for Tesla to pull battery production from Model 3 into the trucks. And at this point, I'm suggesting that instead of first quarter of 2019, I believe it's the latter part of 2019 that's going on. Jerry, thanks for the second notification issue. We're going to take down our initial presentation because we kind of ran into some attack dog difficulties at our first location. Greetings there, Bjorn in Tesla Land, Norway. I hope you guys get some service out of there for your trucks. I apologize for the earlier misstep. And, you know, so getting back to our general discussion. So the answer is yes, in fact, Tesla, despite getting large deposits / full payments from customers, can compete with free trucks from Daimler and free reservations from Nikola without a problem. I'm also fascinated by the discussion that's been going on whenever we discuss trucks and the electricity associated with them. Remember, right now, it takes 4 superchargers to go ahead and lock down a service facility. It takes 4 superchargers to deal with 1 semi. And so I think it articulates the fact that Tesla is easily able to manage issues associated with electricity in large amounts that these trucks might require. And so I don't think it's a big deal. I think that in the United States, those companies have a lot of money. And if they're not spending that money on diesel fuel, they now have it available to buy electricity. And there's no issues if this demand is presented in advance to the power companies, with them increasing the amount of power production available so that they can deliver on the promise of these trucks. The final item that we're kind of covering today, it was announced this morning that from Elon Musk and others that Tesla is offering a $45,000 version of the Model 3. The range on the medium range battery pack is 260 miles. I think this is good news. In theory, more people will be able to afford it at that price point, not as many as at $35,000. I don't think it's that big a deal given that you're either leasing or buying it, and that $5,000 only represents, you know, $70 to $80 a month in price. So it's not clear to me that it's going to have a big impact on those that are buyers. The one thing I did think that was amazing about this development is there's an amazing circumstance going on, which is both Daimler and VW have announced their new SUVs, and those vehicles are asking $75,000 for their cars, but their range is 260 miles. So it's going to be really interesting to find out from consumers how they feel about spending $45,000 for 260 miles of range, or from Tesla with the supercharger network, or spending $75,000 for 200 to 250 miles worth of range from both VW as well as Mercedes. I also think this is part of the reason why we've seen such a delay, is they have to get the batteries together, particularly the ability to supercharge them before they deliver those vehicles, rather than just saying they've introduced them. So generally, another interesting circumstance in what's going on with trucks that we've covered today, I finally wanted to jump into the health effects associated with sleep and sleep research. In my previous show, I pointed out that for a 2-week period, I wanted to encourage you to go to bed, let's say at 10 o'clock at night, and wake up, let's say at 6 a.m. after 8 hours of sleep at whatever schedule you usually do. The one change is to make sure that even on weekends, you make a point of going to bed and waking up at the same time. The reason for this is that your body operates on a 24-hour time clock. By maintaining the same sleep and wake hours, your body can get comfortable with that routine, and then you'll notice that you'll get into a natural cycle that will help maintain your health and comfort for long periods of time. It's been even suggested that by some of the researchers that it might be a good idea to modify the nature of work you do or when you work to the hours during which your body feels most comfortable working, or resting, or exercising, or eating, etc., etc. So I wanted to encourage you guys to consider this. I'm about to do my 25 leg lifts with my 5-pound weights as usual. Encourage you not to eat within 2 hours of going to bed. Preferably 4 hours allows the food to completely digest. Also, a multi and omega-3 might be a good choice as well. This is Jerry Bjorn et al. I wanted to thank you all for joining us. A little noisy in front of the trucks here, but because it was a truck show, I wanted to try to pick up the atmosphere. Gonna take you guys out with a little bit of a view of the area. Exactly, if you need an alarm to wake, exactly. You're not in your natural rhythm, well put. Definitely. Thanks for the notice there, Jerry. We got a little bit almost under attack there from our other location. So thank you again for the notes. Again, please remember to like, subscribe. Could use some help on Patreon if you would. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Tschüss, Max, German. Au revoir, French. Lehitro, Hebrew. Hoda Hafez. Farsi, Farvel. And in Jamaica we say, enough respect, Walt Woodman. Have a great day, and thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to our next encounter.